fellow South Africans. I'm addressing you this evening.
All your years of paying tax, you helped us overcome our darkest hour. You, along with every other loyal taxpayer, helped build this nation. Thank you for every life you saved and for every risk you braved, for giving our future generation a healthy start. When you saw many of our vulnerable communities, you provided for them. When you saw our healthcare workers on the front lines battling COVID, you rose to the occasion and gave them the tools to save lives. Without your tax compliance, we wouldn't be able to fight a good fight. Thank you for contributing to the important services our vulnerable communities rely on every day. To all taxpayers and traders, continue to pay your tax because it matters to millions of South Africans who depend on it. Your tax matters.
Good evening. Welcome to the SARS Taxpayer and Trader Educational Webinar. My name is Mashadi Motwang. I'll be program directing for this evening. I am the manager responsible for tax exempt unit in SARS. This is how the program is going to unfold today. We have a welcome address by our regional director for Gauteng North, and she will be followed by Mr. Justin Hawker, who will give us a detailed background overview of the services available. We also have Q&A facilitation, which will be done by Ms. Mashadi Motwang. And then last but not least, we have Dr. Reboni. She is the head of Trader and Taxpayer Education within SARS. We have a theme for this evening. It's a simple one. Your tax matters. Hashtag your tax matters. It's as simple as that. Plain and simple. At the end of this session, we will also have a survey. We would like to have your feedback. Critique, don't critique. Tell us where you want us to improve, as we always try to do. This is SARS at your service. The purpose this evening is to bring to your attention and let you know of the digital and enhanced platforms that SARS has put together for you. And we hope that you will take with you this afternoon and this evening and going forward something that will make it easy for you to comply. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the Regional Director, Mr. Mabetwa. Mr. Mabetwa, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mashadi. Good evening to all of you who are joining us on this platform. We are truly excited to have you join us and interact with us on these very important issues. My name is Mabetwa, as the program director has mentioned. I am the regional director for Gauteng North. Within SARS, we have 9 regions and 9 regional directors, and each one of us are then responsible for each of the regions, and we take full accountability of the operations and all the other business activities, including the service elements in each of our regions. I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you. We are looking forward to this conversation with you. We have a couple of areas that we are going to cover, and we hope that you will really, one, enjoy the interaction, but also learn quite a bit in terms of what we have prepared for you. Let me start off by saying that SARS joins the rest of the tax administrations throughout the world in the fundamental belief that the majority of taxpayers are honest and they want to comply with their tax obligations. Secondly, that if taxpayers are empowered with the knowledge and are clear or about what they need to do in order to be compliant, most of them will certainly comply. That those sets of beliefs are Vision 2024 and our 9 strategic objectives truly drive us to design the kind of solutions that we design and the manner in which we have designed them. Tonight, we will be taking you through some of these solutions and explaining each one of them and making sure that you understand how to interact with us using those platforms. Allow me to also briefly take you through our strategic objectives, and just to make sure that we kind of build a foundation to ensure that you understand why we do the things the way we're doing them, and to understand the solutions that we put in together and really what drives those solutions. As I said, the first statements that I put forward that speaks to the beliefs that we hold and also our strategic objectives and our vision are really the key drivers to how we have put together these solutions. Our first strategic objective speaks about providing clarity to taxpayers on their tax obligations. We believe that this is a very important one because it ensures that taxpayers are quite clear around what they need to do to discharge their tax obligations. We will provide clarity, and this webinar is one such measure that we are taking to make sure that we provide that clarity. The second objective speaks to making it easy for taxpayers to comply. And this is very important also because much as we are providing clarity, we need to also make sure that taxpayers find it easy to interact with us and to discharge those obligations, tax obligations that they have. And towards this, we have put in place many interventions that ensure that the processes are made easier, your interaction with us is made easier, and the platforms that we use to enable you to interact with us are really easy to use and to really get to discharge your tax obligations. We'll be spending a bit of time going through that in this session. The third strategic objective speaks about making non-compliance difficult. So even though the first two, the first and the second are talking about providing clarity and making it easy, the third one is really about making non-compliance difficult. And we do that in a number of ways. I mean, there is obviously the part around enforcement and making sure that those that intend to be non-compliant have the full might of the law thrown at them. But at the same time, in how we design our processes as well, we want to make it very difficult for those that intend to be non-compliant to succeed at that. And then strategic objective number 4 speaks to our people and how we want to make sure that our people are front and center of what we do. And we believe that they really are the ones that are making everything else to come together. And we invest quite a lot in our human capital towards that. Strategic objective number 5 and 6 then speak about data, using data, using digital tools, digital platforms, machine learning algorithms to once again make your interaction with us seamless, to ensure that we are data-driven, to ensure that we connect with other players within the ecosystem to share data and to make sure that we are able to achieve the strategic objectives that we spoke about, strategic objective number 1 and 2, specifically in terms of making it easy and providing clarity to taxpayers. And this these two objectives also help us to make strategic objective number 3 come alive, because with the use of the data, we are also able to make non-compliance very difficult. because through third-party data, we are able to then be able to have a view of the economic activities that both taxpayers and traders are engaging in, and then bring all of that into our systems so that we are able to make non-compliance very difficult for those that are intending to be non-compliant. And then the last two strategic objectives, three rather, strategic objectives 7, 8, and 9. Strategic objective number 7 speaks about us being good stewards of the resources that the state would then entrust us with, use them effectively and efficiently to run a very good tax administration. And then 8 and 9 speak about how we actually connect to the ecosystem and work within the ecosystem and the stakeholders that are going to work with us in making sure that SARS becomes a top-class tax administration, and our compliance levels are going to increase, and more importantly, that we make it easy for taxpayers to comply. As we said, tonight's webinar is about focusing on filing season, and we are going to be talking about the different solutions that we have in place for you, and because indeed, your tax matters. Allow me for a few minutes to just touch on some feedback on filing season so far. All of you will remember that filing season started on the 1st of July, and the deadline is is actually soon approaching. It's on the 23rd of November 2021. That date is very important because it means that any return that we are going to receive post the 23rd of November 2021 will attract some sort of administrative penalty. We don't want anybody to get there. We really want to encourage everybody to get in their tax returns by the 23rd of November 2021. Another very important data point that I want to share with you tonight is that so far we issued out 3.4 million auto assessments. This is where we use third-party data to collate the data around the economic activities of taxpayers, and then do an auto assessment that we then send to you as a taxpayer to say, this is what we have done in terms of using the third party that we have. And on the basis of that, taxpayers are then allowed to either accept or amend the auto assessment. So far, we've issued 3.4 million auto assessments, and over 1.4 million taxpayers have accepted those auto assessments, with just over 1 million of them accepting them without any changes whatsoever. This is a very encouraging outcome. It means that about 76% of taxpayers that received the auto assessment accepted them without any change. This is a very positive development. Ideally, and our aspiration is to make sure that we get to a point where upwards of 95% of those that actually get to be auto-assessed accept the auto-assessments without making any changes. And we will get there over time. And the rest of those that received the auto-assessments had an opportunity, who did not accept them as they were, they had an opportunity to then amend those auto-assessments that were done. We also want to say that the filing season so far is proving to be a very successful. We have had over 2.3 million taxpayers who have submitted their returns as at close of business yesterday. And of those that submitted their returns, about 1.67 million people, which is 72%, have actually submitted via e-filing. So clearly more and more taxpayers are opting to submit their tax returns via e-filing. This is testament to the fact that we have truly made it easy for taxpayers to interact with us through this platform. There's also another very interesting development around the Mobi app, where so far we've seen 394,000 taxpayers that have submitting through the Mobi app, which we will take you through shortly. This represents about a 54% increase from last year of the usage of the Mobi app. We are very encouraged by this, and again, it's testament to the fact that more and more taxpayers are moving towards using these electronic channels, but also they are finding it easy for them to interact with us in this manner. I want to say that this also translates into a few other key items. The first one that I just want to touch on, and then we move on, is the fact that so far we've paid close to 12 billion in refunds. You know, this has been paid to more than 1 million taxpayers once again as of the close of business yesterday. This is a very important data point as well, because we want to make sure that if the refund is due, it is paid on time. So these refunds were paid within 72 hours of the submission. So again, it's a very good a statistic that really shows that we are really moving very fast in terms of getting the submissions into the system through these electronic channels, but also on our part, we improving our efficiency in terms of making sure that whatever refund is due to you is paid as soon as possible. I want to also just in conclusion, remind all of you that are joining us on this platform that there are a number of these electronic channels that we've put in place over a period of a year and a half, and we've seen an increase in the uptake in these channels. And tonight we will take you through some of those and explain some of the elements of these channels that we have. But in conclusion, I just want to mention just one channel that we introduced at the beginning of this filing season, and that is the SMS service that allows you to make an appointment and to get additional data that you may need, such as understanding, you know, what is your status, and so on. We have seen that really being one of the success stories where taxpayers can just send an SMS through to us, and we're able to give them some information that they are asking for. Over time, we intend to improve that to include a lot more of the services that we offer through those kind of channels. But we will talk more, and the colleagues that are going to take you through will give you a bit more detail on some of those platforms that we have put together. With those words, I want to then welcome all of you to this webinar, and I am really hoping that you are going to benefit quite a bit out of the conversations that we're going to have with you. And once again, let's remember that your tax really matters. Monosi, let me hand back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kujo. Wow, 12 billion rand in refunds. That is good to hear. And I like that you've touched on and you've made it known out there that we're trying by all means to make it easy for taxpayers to comply. And we also want to provide clarity where it's needed. And if you don't comply, we will make it difficult for you. I'm sure you viewers out there have questions after what Kujo has just said. Please use the chat and ask whatever question you like. We have a Q&A session later in this session. And for now, I would like to introduce Justin Hocker. He's our main presenter for today. He's going to give us an in-depth and detailed information on what Kujo has touched on. But before I do that, let me just give you a brief biography about Justin. Justin Hawker is a manager in Gauteng North Taxpayer Engagement. He spent most of his 27-year career in SARS at Accounts Maintenance and Contact Centre, where he was part of the Taxpayer Service Division. He joined the Pretoria North office in 2018, and his current role is that of overseeing the branch operations. Justin holds an MBA degree from the Hanley Business School and is a dedicated SARS service ambassador. I'd therefore like to hand over to Justin for that in-depth presentation. Over to you, Justin.
Thank you, Manosi, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to share my screen, just allow a couple of seconds for it to show on your side. Ladies and gentlemen, the aim of tonight's webinar is first and foremost to introduce and demonstrate our recent online enhancements. And as Kujo just touched on, two of our key strategic objectives are: we want to provide you with clarity and certainty on what your tax obligations are, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you to actually comply. And the reason for that is #YourTaxMatters. Just to take you through the storyline for tonight, I'll introduce you to the various SARS digital channels that we have. We're then going to watch 3 consecutive videos. The first one will be on how to register for e-filing, and then how to submit your income tax return, and then followed by how to accept your auto assessment. After each video, we will pause and I'll touch on key takeaways that I would like you just to focus on. And then we'll end off my presentation with how to navigate our website and access our various online services. Just some background information, ladies and gents. What informs our enhancements, as Kujo touched on, we want to be a modern, smart organization, and we want you to trust us. And our analysis is informed by primarily our contact center and branch operation channels, where we've taken cognizance on our interactions with you that we need to give you more clarity and certainty around what your tax obligations are, as well as where to actually access tax information and processes so that you can be compliant. And some retrospection and reflection that we have done is that we need to up our game in marketing the fact that we do offer free tax education training or workshops, and that we have multiple simplified tax material available for you, our valued clients, on our website. Our solution to our analysis is reading from left to right on your screen. We've covered the entire value chain, starting with registration. We've enhanced our online services to make it easy for you to register. And if you need confirmation of your tax number, you can do it from the comfort of your home or your office. We then move on to declaration and filing. Again, being a smart organization, we've made it easy for you to submit your returns and to even view your notice of assessments. Moving on to payments, we have enhanced our systems so that you can make payments online and even allocate payments that you have already made. And then to end off, we've enhanced our systems around disputes. So if you aren't happy with an outcome of an assessment, you can do so, you can object online. Moving into our e-filing process. So over and above e-filing, which started way back in 2007, we started our journey online. We've since then moved in leaps and bounds, and we've actually introduced a SARS mobile app, which you can download if you're on Android via your Google Play Store, or Apple via your App Store, or Huawei via your download app gallery. If you prefer to be tax compliant via your laptop or desktop, you can log on to our website. It's www.sars.gov.za. And as you can see on the screen print we provided, on our landing page, in the top right-hand corner, which we've placed a red rectangle around, if you are already registered for e-filing, you can log on via our landing page, or you can register for e-filing via our landing page. We're now going to go into the first video, which is how to register for tax and e-filing.
Thank you for watching this video on how to register as a taxpayer on SARS e-filing and receive your income tax reference number at the same time. Please note that this is only available for first-time e-filing registrations. Visit the SARS website www.sars.gov.za and click on register at the top of the web page. You will be directed to the e-filing registration page where you will need to complete your personal details. Once you have done so, click Next. Complete your contact details, username, and password. You have an option of using your email as your username. Click Next to continue. Complete your residential address and click Submit. Choose the preferred method of communication where the OTP will be sent in order to finalize the registration. Capture the last 6 digits of the OTP and click Submit. The following message will appear. Congratulations, you're now successfully registered for e-filing. Now that you have successfully registered for e-filing, the next step is to log in for the first time using the username and password you've created and finalize the registration process. Capture your username, click Next. Capture your password and click Login. Read the SARS e-filing terms and conditions, then scroll to the bottom right corner and click I accept. The next step is to link your new e-filing profile to your newly registered personal income tax product. Click the link on the first option. Link to finalize the process and click on Submit.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I trust you found that video to be very informative. Just some key takeaways I would like you just to note. Again, linking back to our vision, we want to be a smart, modern organization that you can trust. So you'll notice the various security measures and steps we put in place there. Just want to highlight to your attention the one-time PIN. So again, everything is secure, and the safety of your information is important to us. And kindly also note that once you're registered for e-filing, if you don't have a tax number, once you do register, we issue immediately with a tax number. Let's now move on to the next video on how to actually submit your RTR 12 or personal tax return via e-filing. Enjoy.
Welcome to this video that shows you how to submit your income tax return using SARS e-filing. You will need to log in to your e-filing profile in order for you to submit your return. After logging in, you'll be taken to your portfolio dashboard page. Click on the 2019 return link. Your income tax return will be issued. Click the My Tax Return ITR 12 link. You are now on the form creation wizard, which will create your customized income tax return based on the information you supply. Read the message carefully, especially regarding your banking details and information received from your employer. Check that the tax reference number and the year of assessment is correct. Click OK. You will now answer the questions according to your tax affairs in order to create your customized income tax return. Depending on what you complete in the form wizard, various sections will appear. The sections are color-coded. If a section is red, it means you need to supply information. If it is blue, it means you have supplied all the information required. In some sections, fields will be pre-populated. Check that this information is correct against your supporting documents. The deduction section is an important part of your return. You must check that all information is correct. If anything is missing, please add the information. All sections will be blue once you have correctly completed the return. Before you submit your return, you can make a tax calculation based on the completed return by clicking the Calculate button. When you click Calculate, Your return is automatically saved and you will see the results of your calculation. If you're sure that you have completed your return accurately and honestly, you can now click Submit Return to SARS. However, you can save the return and come back later to work on it again. To save the return, click Save. Remember that if you click Save, your return is not submitted. You will have to come back and click Submit Return to SARS for it to be sent to SARS. Your return has been successfully submitted. If you click Continue, you'll be able to see your assessment. To open the assessment, click on ITA 34 under Notice of Assessment. This is where you can check if you have been selected for audit or verification. You can then close and log out of e-filing or continue to use other e-filing services. Thank you for submitting your return via e-filing. SARS at your service.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gents. Again, I want to draw again from our vision and our non-strategic objectives, but I'll only touch on two. Again, our vision is we want to be a modern, smart organization that you can trust, and we want to make it as easy as possible and give you as much clarity as possible. We know that dealing with tax can be sometimes overwhelming. So you'll notice as we went through the tutorial video that we've purposely highlighted certain fields in red, and that's just to guide you as our valued client as you comply with your tax obligations. Please also note, ladies and gents, that if you click Save, your return is not then submitted to us. You need to actually click the Submit button to ensure that your return is submitted. And as Kujo just alluded to earlier, our due date is on the 23rd of November. So please do ensure you get your tax return submitted before then. We're now going to look at our third and final video, which will be how to accept your auto assessment. This is a new process or an online enhancement we introduced in our 2020 tax season, where again, in line with our strategic objectives, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to actually comply with your tax obligations. So we've actually, depending on your various sources of income, we actually have pre-populated your tax return for you. All you merely have to do is either verify the data or the numbers or edit it. Let's see the video.
Welcome to this tutorial video that will show you how to accept your auto assessment on SARS e-filing. You would have received the auto assessment by SMS, but to accept it, you must be registered on e-filing or Mobi app. Log into e-filing using your existing username and password. You will land on the e-filing dashboard. A message headed, "You have been auto-assessed" will be displayed. Click on the View button to view the auto-assessment. A pop-up message that SARS has simulated a tax calculation for you will be displayed. Click on Continue to be able to view your simulated assessment. A simulated assessment result will be displayed on your screen. Carefully go through the assessment to check that the details are correct. If you're in agreement with the simulated results of your assessment, click on the Accept button. If you do not agree with the simulated results, click on Edit Return, which will open up your pre-populated ITR 12 return for you to edit, complete, and submit to SARS. Once accepted, you'll be taken back to the return search page. On the 2020 return, click the Open link. This will take you to your income tax work page where you can view your ITA 34. A pop-up will display about your assessment being issued. Click Open and the ITA 34 will be presented and you can go through it. Here you will see if you have money refundable to you or payable by you. You can close the page once you're done. The status of your income tax return will now be displayed as Filed through e-filing on your income tax work page. Congratulations, you have successfully accepted your auto assessment.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Some key takeaways I'd like you to just note from the third and final video for tonight is, again, we're empowering you as our client and making it easy, being a trusted organization. Please do analyze your auto assessment details as you just saw in the tutorial. And if you're not happy with the data that's been captured there, by all means, use the edit function and edit the return. And a reminder, please, to click the submit button to ensure that it does actually get submitted through to us. Ladies and gents, you would have heard in the second and third video, it touched on a form called Notice of Assessment. So I thought it only proper that we just touch on this form and go into it. So once you've successfully submitted your personal income tax return, you will be issued with a notice of assessment. Now, we've specifically highlighted certain fields in red. Where you see that it has the number has a minus sign in front of it, it means that SARS owes you money. In other words, you're due a refund. Where there's no minus sign in front of it, it means you owe us money. And the reason why I'm stressing this point, we do often get this question asked to us. So I just thought it very important that we do highlight it to you. Another important indicator is the compliance information block. You will see an indicator, either an N for no or Y for yes, that you have been selected for audit verification, which we're going to touch on a bit later in my presentation. On page 2 of the notice of assessment, you will see it basically gives you a summary of your complete RTR 12 or personal income tax return as based on either the data that you inputted via e-filing or data that you confirmed via the auto assessment. Again, I just want to draw your attention. As you see the final outcome at the bottom right of the screen, again, it has the same minus figure in front of it, which is direct correlation to page 1 of the notice of assessment. Then moving on to refunds. In this scenario, ladies and gents, what often happens is client X and client Y, they both log onto e-filing or their SARS mobile app, and they both submit the RTR 12 or personal income tax return on the same day. And then they get chatting and client X receives his or her refund the very next day, but client Y is pondering why haven't they received their refund. It's now 4 or 5 working days post their submission. And these are the reasons why for client Y, their refund would not have been paid out. So first and foremost, again, to ensure your safety, again, linking back to our vision, we want to be a trusted and admired organization. We do verify our clients' bank details. And when we verify your bank details, we do require that you submit some supporting documents just to validate the banking details that we have on record. And once we verify the bank details, the refund is paid out. Second scenario why a refund wouldn't have been paid out for client Y is as much as client Y was compliant because they maybe are on this webinar tonight, or they watched it over the weekend and they submitted their personal income tax return for this year, but unbeknown to them, they've actually forgot to submit last year's personal income tax return. There again, the amount due to you as a client will be held back, as we want you to be fully compliant, and then we will duly pay over to you what we need to pay. A third reason is you as a client will be on our e-filing or on your mobile app, busy completing your RTR 12, and you notice that your bank details on the RTR 12 are not the same as what you are using. So you type in the new bank details. This then creates a mismatch because on our systems, we would still have your previous bank details. And there again, for your safety, we want to be an admired organization and trusted. So to ensure your safety and make sure we don't pay the refund into an incorrect bank account, we just ask you to verify those new bank details that you've entered on your RTR 12 or personal income tax return, and supply us with some supporting documents to validate the banking details, which we will validate on our end, and then we pay the refund that is due to you. Moving on to our online system. Again, if you go to our website, www.sars.gov.za, on the landing page on your left, you will see these 6 icons. I'll just draw your attention to the one that we've highlighted with a red rectangle, our online services. But before we actually go into the online services, I just want to draw your attention to the icon to the left with the title Book an Appointment. So this is something we introduced last year during our 2020 tax season, where you as a client, gone are the days where you need to queue at a SARS branch. You can go onto our website and actually book a telephonic or video appointment. So from the comfort of your home or your office, one of our service ambassadors will actually engage you and ensure they resolve their query on the time and date that you've actually selected that you are available for an appointment. Again, this is just one of the new ways we want to make it as easy as possible for you as our valued client to comply with your tax obligations. Once you've clicked on the online service hyperlink, it will open up this page. These are our online service options. For tonight, we're going to focus on the 4 that I've highlighted: request your tax number, submit supporting documents, submit payment allocations, and register a representative. And the reason why we're going to focus on these 4, it's again, if you recall my earlier slide where we spoke around the analysis that informs our webinar tonight. So these are queries we just want to touch on for you. First and foremost, request your tax number. So if you are already registered for personal income tax and you need verification that of your tax number, again, via our webpage, you can actually go online and request your tax number. Now, you might be asking the question, but Justin, if someone has my ID number, can they then just go online and request my tax number? No, they can't. What we've built into our system is security risks. Again, linking back to our vision, we want you to trust us. So the tax number will only be sent to the SMS or cell phone number or email address that we actually have on register, which you as our client have provided us. So just on that point, I just want to reiterate, please, if your cell phone number or email address has changed, please go to our website and book an appointment, and one of our service ambassadors will assist you in updating your details. Back to the page that you're seeing, again, we want to make it as easy as possible for you. You'll see that we've highlighted mandatory fields with a red asterisk, which you obviously need to complete so that we know who the client is. So it'll be your personal details, your ID number, and then it's key that you do choose an option. Do you want us to send your tax number via SMS or via email? And as soon as you click submit, you instantly receive confirmation of your tax number. On to submitting your supporting documents. You recall when we were looking at the notice of assessment, I highlighted the compliance part or the compliance indicator, where if it has a Y for a yes, it means you have been selected for an audit. In the example we looked, it had an N for no. So this client would not have been selected. But if it has a Y, it does mean then that we need your supporting documents. You will then receive a personalized letter, which will appear on your e-filing profile, and it will actually highlight the supporting documents that we need from you as our client. And I just want to pause there that I just want to encourage all of you, please analyze the list of documents that we require and ensure that you upload all of them. You'll see the last bullet point I touch on our turnaround time. So if, for example, we need your medical supporting documents and your retirement annuity and your RP5, but you forget to upload your RP5, 3 days after submitting the first 2 documents, you upload the RP5. Unfortunately, the 1 to 21 days turnaround time starts counting after your RP5 was submitted. So please just take cognizance of that. Again, ladies and gents, we've highlighted the mandatory fields with a red asterisk, again, to make it as simple and give you as much clarity as possible on what you need to actually complete before you upload your supporting documents. What's key, as I've highlighted, is the case number. So on your personalized letter that you will receive, if you are earmarked for audit, there will be a case number on the form. It's crucial that you put that case number in the field provided. And the reason for that is so that once you've clicked submit and the supporting documents are uploaded onto our system, one of our great service ambassadors will then receive the supporting documents, and then that will obviously speed up the turnaround time for finalization. On to submit a payment allocation. Again, I'm going to keep drawing on our vision so that you as our valued clients see the line of sight. Like Cujo touched on, we want you as our valued clients to understand why we do what we do. Again, for submit a payment allocation, we've highlighted the mandatory fields with a red asterisk. And again, we've even added an option for special notes where you can write a note so that our service ambassador who receives a query can engage a little bit further. And obviously, once you've done the allocation and completed the mandatory fields, please do click submit so that it comes through to our systems and to our service ambassadors. Moving on to the request to be updated as a registered representative. This is the first field or first page you will see if you choose this online option. On this page, I just want to highlight the important field is that you choose the correct capacity for the person or the client that you are dealing with. Moving on to the second page. Again, the important points to note is to the entity type, which, as you can see from the drop down, is individual, company, trust, or other. Again, we've highlighted with a red asterisk the tax number of the business and the identity number. The final page for if you're updating a registered representative online, again, we've highlighted the mandatory fields with a red asterisk. And I just want to draw your attention to the fact that our turnaround time is between 1 and 21 days. And what's crucial is on the bottom left-hand side, once you've completed all the mandatory fields, you've checked that everything is correct, please do click submit. Ladies and gents, now we're going to move on to other service channels that we've brought into our quiver of making it easy for you as our client. Let's have a look. Cujo did touch on it. I heard him speaking about our SMS. So as much as if you phone our national contact center and choose option 0, if you don't have access to a computer and you can't go book an appointment online, you can phone our contact center, you choose option 0, and one of our service ambassadors will actually assist you to book a telephone or a video appointment. If you don't have the necessary time to phone our call center, you can send an SMS to the number on the screen. And one of our panelists will actually touch on this a bit later as to how the wording of the SMS must be structured to ensure that we receive it. And we have committed ourselves to a 3 working day turnaround time, that after you have sent the SMS, you get a confirmation that we've received your SMS. The SMS will just confirm what I've said. And within 3 working days, one of our service ambassadors will phone you back and actually book an appointment for you. We also have Lawazi, which is our chat bot, which if you are registered for SARS e-filing or using our mobile app, you can actually engage Lawazi on some tax-related questions. And it's just another channel where we want to make it as easy and give you as much clarity as possible as our clients. Something new that we've introduced for the 2021 tax season is pop-up office. If you go onto our website, you'll actually see a list of which malls these pop-up offices have been set up. Again, please do engage one of our service ambassadors via our contact center, option 0, just so they can actually book you an appointment and ensure that you get assisted. And then at our branch offices, we have a self-help kiosk. So for those clients who you are registered for e-filing, but you might not just have access to a computer, we have self-help kiosks where you can actually go into our branches. Again, please via an appointment, please phone our contact center, option 0, ask one of our service ambassadors to book you an appointment, and you can be compliant with your tax obligations via our kiosks at our branches. In closing, ladies and gents, the key takeaways that I want you to leave with tonight is, again, linking back to our vision. We want to be a trusted and admired modern organization. And then so doing, we want to make it as easy and give you as much clarity as possible on what your tax obligations are and ensure that you meet them. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please go online, register for e-filing. If you have a smartphone, download the SARS mobile app. You can visit our website, like I've just showed you, for various other online services. And please remember, your tax matters to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Justin. Dear taxpayer, dear trader, dear stakeholder, for me, it felt like Justin has opened the shop, candy store, to little ones. There is so much to pick, and I hope he has covered something that is in your space. But I would like to take this and highlight on what Justin has said. For first-time applicants, you get a combo. You register for e-filing and you get a tax number at the same time. But I can even tell you that you can even get it on a letter, on a SARS letterhead. How about that? And you can download it either on YouTube for yourself or on WhatsApp or in your Gmail. And it is date stamped. So you get, it's a full whammy. And that's what I'm taking away with me today. You also touched, Justin, on the reps, the representatives, how easy it can be. But what I like the most, dear taxpayer, is that we're not leaving anyone behind. Even if you're not techno savvy, even if you don't have a smartphone, no problem. No smartphone, no problem. You SMS, service consultant calls you, books an appointment for you. And I can see the questions are coming through. Thank you very much. Which leads us now to the next part of our session, which is the Q's and A's. Don't remember, we have a survey at the end of the session, and we would like to have your feedback on our presentation today. So before we go to the Q&A by Ms. Mashadi Motwang, I would just like to give you a bit of a biography about her. So here we go. Mashadi Motwang is a manager in the Northwest Taxpayer Engagement. She spent most of her 18-year career in SARS at Taxpayer Engagement in different roles. She joined Rustenburg office in 2016, and her current role is that of overseeing the branch operations. Mashadi holds a master's in business leadership from the University of South Africa, and she is a dedicated SARS service ambassador. I would like to hand over to Mashadi with her experienced panel to facilitate the Q's and A's. Over to you, Mashadi. Thank you very much.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you, Munosi. As you all know, the pilot cannot move alone. I will be the co-pilot and hosting the Q&A. Thank you very much for tuning in and taking your time to give us feedback so that we can be able to give you clarity. I do not move along as well. I've got a panel of service ambassadors who will be going through the question and giving you the answers for. I will introduce the panel. Please, panel, as I introduce your name, can you switch on your camera? We've got Sipho, who's our service ambassador in branch. We've got Goodwill, who is our service ambassador in branch. We've got Lwazi, who is our service ambassador in Contact Centre. We've got Lester, who is our service ambassador in Contact Centre. Thank you for joining us. The first question that we're having is, if I cannot retrieve my tax number, my contact details happens to be outdated, what should I do? Goodwill, can you take us through that question? Goodwill, are you with us? Colleagues, I'll take it to Sipho to help us there. Sipho, can you go with that question?
Thank you, Mashadi. Good evening, viewers out there. In terms of the tax number, getting the tax number when your contact details are not updated with us, you have to book an appointment with SARS on our website, where our service ambassador will be able to help you with the updating of the contact details. Because the reason for us not to give you the tax number when the contact details or your details are not correct on our system via our contact center is to protect you as well in making sure that we are communicating the tax number or your information to the right person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sipho, for the clarity. We must remember all our information that SARS has about our taxpayer. We follow all the governance rule and the Mobi Act. We need to protect you as our taxpayer. The following question is, how can I update my detail of someone who has no e-filing if I want to transfer the company to my profile? It shows the number. My email address is as follows. Lwazi, can you take us through that?
All right. I'm not sure if I got the complete question. However, you're talking about updating details for a company.
Yes. Yes, it's updating of details of someone who doesn't have an e-filing profile.
Well, it's simple. First and foremost, you need to book an appointment. Now, of course, you can't do that using Lwazi, the chatbot, but you can by sending an SMS, or you can go to the SARS website and book an appointment. When you book that appointment, the SARS Contact Centre staff will then call you to update those details. Again, my good colleague has mentioned there is a verification process that needs to be adhered to in order for us to satisfy ourselves that we are talking to the correct person. In fact, that we are talking to the relevant person. So we will ask you a few questions in order to ascertain those facts.
Thank you very much, Lwazi. You remind me, for every call, for every contact that you have with us, either in branch or telephonically, visually, we are compelled to do authentication to protect you as a taxpayer. The following question is, I have returns that are very old and I need to submit those information. I do not have the information anymore. The company does not exist anymore. The company has closed. What should I do? Because I want to be a compliant taxpayer at this point. Goodwill, are you back? You can take us through the question. Thank you. Lester, can you take us through the question?
Thank you, Mashadi. If the company reconciled and we have your IRP5 on our database, make sure that you have an affidavit and contact our branch by making an appointment, which is the number 47277, and we will be able to assist you. Just remember that we need to have that information on the system in order to assist you, which is the reason we are saying that if that company has reconciled, meaning reconciled, that the company should have submitted your IRP5 through to SARS. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is why it's important for employers to submit their records to us so that the records can be kept safe for any time the taxpayer is requesting the information. The next question is, it's important to update banking detail and representative. I want to understand why is it so long process and why it takes so long for us to get the feedback. Can you please explain to me the process of updating the banking detail and representative? Sipho, take us through.
Thank you, Mashadi. In terms of updating the banking details and the details of the representative, the taxpayer need to make sure that the information that they are giving us are correct, meaning for them to do so, they can book appointment with us if they want us to update the banking details. And also we have enhanced our system where they can be able to update the banking details via our Mobi app or on e-filing, and just make sure that they supply the correct information to us, meaning the bank statement and the other supporting document which are requested by SARS. And then for the updating of the company representative, they have to make sure that all the information that they are requested, they need to submit them in time in order for us to be able to assist them and help them to finalize the updating of the representative. And then that updating can be done via our online services. They can use our online channels to do the updating of the representative. They can also book an appointment whereby one of our service ambassador will be able to contact them and make sure that they help them with the updating of the details of the representative. Thank you.
Thank you, Sipho. We've got the next question. How do I book an appointment if I do not have a tax number? Lwazi, can you take us through?
It's a tricky one to many taxpayers, I suppose.
Yes.
To book an appointment, of course, you must go to the SARS website. Now, when a person does not have a tax number, perhaps what we would normally suggest is that you contact the call center. You can request a call back and they can contact you instead. That would be the quickest way to resolve the issue. Currently on the SARS website, when you enter 10 zeros, you would not be able to get through, unfortunately. So please request a call back and we'll call you back and we will assist you.
Okay, thank you, Lwazi. I needed to add on the answer of Lwazi. You can also use our SMS process. The number is 47277. When you enter that number, please use the word booking, make a space, and put your ID number so that you can be able to secure your appointment without a tax number. So we can move ahead with the next question. Is it necessary to upload supporting documents for items of income which are pre-populated by SARS on taxpayers' tax return? Lester, can you take us through? This is a return that has been pre-populated. Is it necessary for me to submit supporting documents?
Thank you, Mashadi. It is necessary to attach supporting documents if you are requested to attach those documents. When we issue you with a notice of assessment, we will stipulate if you are selected for audit verification. The letter that we are going to send you, it will have information that we are requesting, which means that it will notify that which documents we are requesting. Then you will need to attach those supporting documents that we are requesting. Thank you, Mashadi.
Thank you, Lester. And that is part of our compliance audit. in order for us to verify the information that has been submitted by the employer and the information that the taxpayer has. And those information will be submitted by request. Thank you, Lester. We move to the next question. I have a client that took over a company. Old owner did not submit the company tax return. We cannot get hold of the old owner. How do we submit old returns that we have no records of? The scenario is they have bought a company, obviously the shelf company that usually will happen with our taxpayers. They've got old returns that have never been submitted by the previous owner. How then do we help this taxpayer? Sipho, give some advice.
Thank you, Mashadi. In terms of the old return where the old owner is no longer there, they can be able to do the submissions via our online channels using our e-filing by registering that company on e-filing, and then they will be able to submit the tax returns there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We encourage our taxpayers to be compliant, and as our strategic intent states very clear, it's encouraging voluntary compliance. We are taking you through to our Vision 2024. I hope you are with us together so that we can make you compliant. It's very important for us. That is why we are here tonight, to give you all the information so that you can be able to complete those returns for you. I need to make this a plea. If we did not answer your question by the end of the Q&A session, please do not panic. All the questions will be placed under the frequent asked question on our website. I will then go back to ask the next question. The next question is follows as, where can I upload my Mobi app? I do not know where. I just have a non-smartphone, but I want to know more about the Mobi app so that I can make my life easy on the app. Lwazi, can you take us through that?
In order to download the Mobi app, you will need a smartphone, unfortunately. One of the requirements, or rather one of the technical requirements, is a certain level of an Android system or Apple Mac system. With all these requirements, we need smartphones in order to be able to engage digitally. Of course, there are certain services that we do offer that you might not need a smartphone, but if you want to submit your return at the comfort of your own home, we suggest that you use a smartphone.
Thank you very much. As you know, the commitment of our organization is moving digitally. Unfortunately, some along the way, we need to change how we approach our compliance. And one of it is moving digitally, making sure we have access to smartphones so that we can make our life easy. I will go to the next question. I've been waiting for a refund for a long time, and there is no communication to say what is happening on my refunds. Can I get an advice? Sipho, how do we advise?
In terms of a refund, which the taxpayer is waiting for a long time, and he doesn't get communication. But we do communicate with our taxpayer via our online services, either e-filing and Mobi app, where you'll be able to check your refund status on the Mobi app or on e-filing. But if you don't see any refund status on those channels, you can easily just book an appointment with us at SARS via our website or using our call center or our SMS line. And then one of our service ambassador will be able to contact you and check the status of the refund and tell you what is the delay, which in terms of the refund, which is due to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sipho.
Mashadi, alternatively, if a taxpayer is not receiving any communication at all, the taxpayer can simply call the contact center just to inquire if the contact details are up to date or not. If the contact details are not up to date, then she must just book an appointment and then request for the contact details to be updated. Because currently SARS is, if you have a refund, SARS is currently sending SMSs to taxpayers. If there's outstanding returns, SARS will inform you that there's outstanding returns, hence you're not receiving your refund. Or if the bank details are not updated, SARS will also send you an SMS informing you that you need to update your bank details. So I think the challenge of the taxpayer might be their contact details are not up to date.
Thank you for that, Ed. That is why we are a team. We cannot fly this alone. We are all our co-pilots in this journey. The next question is, what documents are required to update the representative taxpayer of a company? If there is a list on the SARS website. Lwazi, can you take us through there?
Of course, there's basically 5 documents, most importantly, that we need more than anything else. To register as a representative, if I understood the question correctly, and that would be, if it pertains to a company, we need the company's details. Now, the company's details would be the company registration documents, the proof of address of the company, as well as a memorandum, that is a resolution stating that a specific individual has been appointed by the entity. Now, the person that has been appointed will also need to attach their ID as well as their proof of address. But there's one additional document that I'd like to remind taxpayers of, and that is that little snippet with the selfie stating update my details. That's everything we need. Now, in no more than normally, of course, I speak of current, we take no more than 4 days in order to be able to verify you as a registered representative.
Thank you, Lwazi. We've got a chat box that's called Lwazi in SARS. It's not the same guy, guys. It's something technology is moving with us. Lwazi is our service ambassador in our contact center. So he is very much related to the Lwazi in the chat box. The next question is, what can be done if SARS does not honor the appointment? This question, I will take it over. I will respond in this way. Dear taxpayer, if we have not honored what we have committed to, we have our escalation process. The case numbers that has been sent to you can be used to contact our contact center, the relevant branch where you've made appointment with that case number for the escalation process, for the agent attention of the leadership so that they can respond to you. Be patient with us as we are in this journey with you. We will never intentionally not want to serve you, because when we serve you, we serve this country. We serve you as we want to be committed to serving you. That will be our last question. Thank you very much for all your inputs. I need to say again, that if we did not touch on your question, all the questions will be placed under our frequent asked questions under our website. So please do not panic and say we did not attend to your question. We only have time, and time is little tonight, but we've enjoyed your interaction. I would like to thank our pilot, Munosi, and our main presenter, Justine. Thank you very much for the ride. I think my trip will end here. I need to hand over to Munosi. Thank you very much, Munosi. Thank you very much to the panel.
Thank you, Mashadi, and the panel of experts for going as far as you can to provide answers to our taxpayers. And thank you. I've been looking at the Q&As and they are coming in thick and strong. Thank you very much. And as Mashadi has alluded to, if we didn't get to your question, it's not that we're ignoring you, it's time constraints, but there are other avenues where they will respond to you. If you could bear with us, please, on that. We're moving on now to the last speaker, if you like, and I would like to hand over to Dr. Rebone. She is affectionately referred to within SARS as Dr. G. Dr. G is the head for taxpayer and trader education, and she will be giving a closing remark. This is where my piloting gets to. We didn't have lots of turbulences, fortunately, and I think we will end with a very soft landing. Dr. G, handing over to you. Thank you so much.
Madam Program Director Munosi, thank you so much for a ride. I think this plane was well piloted. What I want to share with you is my observation from the beginning to end. I was listening attentively to all the speakers, and what I get as a common is that we're here to serve you. We're here to offer you the service. And then today's webinar illustrates the importance of constantly providing clarity and certainty about some processes. Every question was asking about, how can I do something? Where do I find something? How do I pay my tax? So for me, the question how suggests to me that even more clarity and certainty that is required. People would like to understand the tax obligations to make it easier for themselves to interact with SARS, especially during fire season, and also during other interactions in the organization with us. Most importantly, what we're trying to do with this webinar is to create spaces for information exchange, as we have done, to get feedback from you on the experiences we are offering. More questions today provided qualitative inputs to depth of what are the needs of the taxpayer. From over 23 questions that were posed, I just thought, I think we needed to do this. And it offered us time to really share the insights with you. As we aspire and work towards achieving our goal of a smart modern SARS, we believe that it is important to take you along with us because, as everybody said, you matter and your tax matter. Our sense and data suggest that there is an appetite for more conversation on matters of importance to you. Matters that enables the ease of interaction. Most importantly, it is vital that we constantly and evaluate if we are really achieving the goal of providing clarity and certainty and making for our taxpayer to comply and understand the obligation. Let me pause and take this moment to thank the following people who have made possible for us to achieve our objectives today successfully. The leadership of SARS, I must say, the commissioner and his leadership team, as listened from the first speaker, provided us with a true north strategy, objectives, and language that provides a laser-clear guide on how to embed customer experience into our service offering. We appreciate clarity. Ours is to deliver, as we are doing. To the organizing team, the taxpayer and trader education, together with the regional service and center ambassadors, have done a sterling work in putting this together. I must say, Justin was having a fun in showing us what and how to get through the systems as we go digital. More importantly, the media, communication, and the IT people involved in setting the stage for us. Together, we always get further. To the presenters, the chair, the regional director, our presenter, our Q&A team, we thank you for the educating all of us about the topic of the day. The questions were coming thick and fast, and you did absolute best to answer most of the questions. We noticed that there were questions on the chat that were not answered. we will take them further and put them on the Q&A, and you will answer each and every one of them so that we can be able to say, I was there. I can only hope you have equally enjoyed the level of engagement during this session. Thank you. To the participants, I saw most active people today on the chat. I saw Edmond, I saw Kilebohile, I saw Ness, and all of these people came set from when we started to now because they had an important issue to raise and we had to listen. We take all the issues seriously. To all of you who taken time from your schedule to attend this session, we want to say a big thank you. Be assured that you are part of the ecosystem and therefore an important. In conclusion, as SARS, we continue to enhance relationships with our taxpayer, a relationship based on cooperation in order to achieve the highest level of clarity and certainty, including voluntary compliance. We use webinars as one of our connection, boosting opportunity to get a wider reach trial. We will continue to monitor the impact of our work to ensure that we bring needs-based education. Therefore, your feedback is key. As you navigate our digital service platform using the valuable information that you got from this webinar today, remember to provide feedback on your experience. Looking forward to hearing from you. The next topic, as you might, we are going to be covering more of these webinars over time. So on the 7th, we're having another webinar, which will be on illicit trade and counterfeit procedures. And remember that our filing season closing date is the 23rd of November, 2021. I'm having this one last day, your text message. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Chair, for the overall.
Just continue with Raboni. Monosi is out.
Oh, okay, sure. I think we've come to the end of our session, and by now we are at the point where we may thank you and have a long weekend, but have fun during the Heritage Day. Thank you and goodbye. Over to you, Tato.
Fellow South Africans, I'm addressing you.
All your years of paying tax, you still wonder, why does it matter?
It is true that we are facing a great emergency.
It matters now more than ever. It matters to those who are exposed to harm to keep us away from it. The ones that leave behind all that they love. Your tax matters to them. Those who spend endless hours standing on their feet to care for others. It matters to those who are always at the heart of any crisis and our future generations. It matters to those who put so much love into giving selflessly to each and every family living on the breadline. It matters to all of us. To all taxpayers, pay your fair share. Do it for your nation. Your tax matters.